The knock. It started with a knock on my bedroom window. I remember it so clearly because it was late, well past midnight. The kind of late when the house is wrapped in silence and the darkness feels almost tangible, like it's pressing in on you. I was half asleep when I heard it. A soft, deliberate tap, tap, tap on the glass. At first, I convinced myself it was just a tree branch. It had to be, even though I couldn't recall any trees close enough to touch the window. But then it happened again. 3 precise knocks. I froze. My breath caught in my throat, and my heart began to pound in my chest. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to move. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, praying it was all in my head. But then the knock came again, louder this time, more insistent. My body moved before my mind could stop it. I turned my head slowly toward the window. The curtains were drawn, but I could see the faint outline of something, a shadow standing just outside. I don't know what compelled me, but I got out of bed and walked toward the window, each step feeling heavier than the last. My fingers trembled as I reached for the curtain, hesitating before pulling it back just a fraction. There was nothing there. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding, relief washing over me. I closed the curtain and backed away. But as I turned to head back to bed, I heard it again. The knock. This time it was coming from the door. I whipped around, my heart racing. I was sure I had locked the front door before going to bed. My hands shook as I reached for my phone, but of course, it was dead. Typical. I was alone, in the dark, with no way to call for help. The knock came again, harder, more urgent. I could feel the vibrations through the floorboards. I had no choice. I had to go see what it was. My feet felt like lead as I made my way down the hallway, every creak of the floor sounding like a scream in the silence. When I reached the front door, I paused. The knocking had stopped, but the silence that followed was even worse. I leaned in close, listening. Nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing, ragged and fast. Gathering what little courage I had left, I reached for the doorknob. It was cold to the touch, colder than it should have been. Slowly, I turned it and pulled the door open, just a crack. The night air rushed in, chilling me to the bone. The porch was empty, the street beyond it silent and still. I looked around, searching the shadows for any sign of movement, but there was nothing. Just the quiet, oppressive darkness. I shut the door quickly, bolting it this time. I was about to turn away when something caught my eye. There, on the ground just outside the door, was a piece of paper folded neatly. My hands shook as I picked it up and unfolded it. There were only 2 words written on it, in handwriting I didn't recognize. Look up. A chill ran down my spine. I couldn't help it. I looked up, and that's when I saw it, reflected in the glass of the door. A figure, standing right behind me, close enough to touch. But when I spun around, there was nothing, just empty air. I ran back to my room, locking the door behind me, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. I sat on the bed, trembling, clutching the note in my hand. That's when I heard it again, the knock, but this time it was coming from the ceiling, directly above me. And this time, it didn't stop. Tap, tap, tap. It's been hours, maybe longer. I can still hear it. It's getting louder, closer. I'm too scared to move, too scared to breathe. All I can do is sit here, listening, waiting, knowing that sooner or later I'll have to look up again. But I know that when I do, I won't be alone. That was today's story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. And for more horror stories, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and stay tuned for more eerie and terrifying tales.